Hello, Wetaskiwin. We are here today with Joe Branco for mayor. Hi, Joe. How are you?
Hi, Scott. How are you?
Good. Joe's currently on city council with Wetaskiwin, running for mayor. This is going to be a two-part interview. We're going to do both parts tonight, Joe, but we're only going to publish part one, which is going to talk about getting to know Joe and finding out some of the personal information that maybe we don't know about him. So let's move right into that. Joe, we're going to start with where are you from and what brought you to Wetaskiwin if you weren't born here?
Well, I was born in the Azores in Portugal, on 9 little islands in the middle of the Atlantic. But part of a colony belongs to Portugal. And I came to Canada when I was 7 years old, actually on our 100th anniversary. Canada opened the doors to immigrant. And my dad didn't want me and my brother to join the war in Angola and Mozambique. So we moved to Galt, Ontario, which is now Cambridge. And then as I got involved with a lot of stuff as a youth, sports, soccer, I always wanted to join the military. I always felt joining the military. So I joined the Highland Fusiliers. And when I graduated out of grade 12 in 1978, I signed up for the Navy. So they said I had 6 months to wait before my courses would start. So I said, well, I'm going to go work, work in Ontario for a couple of months. So I decided to go to Alberta, where my brother and future father-in-law had their own concrete business, Autoform. So I asked them if they had a job for me, and they said, yeah. So I came up here, started as a labor work, and then a month later, got a notice that I had to go back to Halifax to do my courses. And in the meantime, I met my future wife, Nancy. We started dating, so I went back and went to the Navy, did my courses. And a year into the Navy, it wasn't going the way that I planned for it. Our contracts weren't fulfilling as the obligations we both had. So I decided to move on and moved to Alberta in 1979, late 79, and met my future wife, Nancy, raised a family, got married, raised a family. And by the way, we had our 40th anniversary this year. So
Congratulations.
So we've been in Wetaskiwin for 1978, I guess. So 43 years.
Nice, long time. What do you do like when you're not working and you're not running a concrete company? What do you like to do in your free time? What hobbies do you have?
Well, when I was younger, much younger, I always wanted to be. My goal was to become a professional racing car driver, and of course that's a lot of money, and I didn't have that, but I did fulfill that in my late 30s. I became a race car driver, an amateur, and raced at Edmonton Indies and across Alberta. In the winter we did ice racing, but as you get older and you have a family, you want to do things together. So what I love to do is I love to cook, and I like to I'm a car buff, so I have a lot of sports cars I collect. I work on them, but I like to cook, as everybody knows in our community, and I also like to travel. So when traveling, I do a lot of fishing. So that's how I relax.
Nice. Let's talk a little bit about educational background. Where did you go to high school? Did you graduate high school, post-secondary?
Yes, I did. When I actually came to Canada, I went directly into grade 2. And then in Ontario, grade 12. And when I was in the Navy, I took a couple courses as a marine engineer. But I do have a grade 12, and the rest just learning from the world of hard knocks.
Right. So talk about your work background for a little bit. Talk about,
When I started, I always was involved with sports and always been a leader, made captains of the sports team, all Ontario All-Stars in soccer. And as I was maturing, became a laborer in my industry, started from the ground up and found out that I could be a leader, became a foreman, then became a supervisor and then an estimator. And then in 86, my dad started his own business. It was a family business, Branco Concrete. We started doing concrete. So literally I've been doing concrete in Wetaskiwin for 40 years.
Excellent.
So, and it's been successful, worked all over Alberta, building Alberta's infrastructures. And so I'm more experienced in as a leadership role in budgets for concrete for the municipalities. We work all over Alberta, from all the way to high level, all the way to Crow's Nest Pass. So,
wow. Talk a little bit about your time on City Council with Wetaskiwin. When did you start? How many terms have you done? And I know that this is the second time you've run for mayor, I think.
No.
This is the first time? Oh, for some reason I thought you had run previously. See, that's why I shouldn't just talk. Go ahead and tell me all about it, Joe.
I always loved politics. I've always liked fighting for the little guy. And I got involved a lot of in volunteer groups. First, I started off with the landfill board. I sat there for 10 years on the landfill board. Then I went to the appeal board, I think 2 terms. And then I ran 2 terms in the Wetaskiwin Chamber as a board of directors. So, and then I always liked politics. So I think it was in 2011, I ran for my first councillor and got into second. And the third term I didn't run, but I did get in on a by-election when the 2 councillors, Patricia and the other Pamela, didn't run. So, but I love it. Sometimes you shake your head while you're doing it, but it's all about the community.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about the committees and the volunteering you do in Wetaskiwin. Joe, I know that the City Council, you probably have an assigned boards that you sit on. What are some of those boards? And then talk about...
When I came in, coming in the mid-election, my only 2 boards was the... actually, there's only one board, is the Camrose and Wetaskiwin board, and we haven't had any meetings in that. So basically, I'm one of the guys with the least amount of sit on the board. There's another board, but I can't think of it right now.
Sure.
So, Memorial Fund board, that's where it's at.
Do you do any volunteering with other groups when they ask, or do you have any other things that you...
I like to go. If people need help, I like to go. So whenever they need it, I'm there.
All right. So let's find out today from you, Joe, why you're seeking to run for mayor this term.
Well, the reason I'm running, I've had a lot of outcry from our public that they need help. Our situation is not getting better. Wetaskiwin's gone through some tough time. So basically they're asked, Joe, we want you to run. We want you to be our voice because we always believed you were our voice, and fighting for the people. I always like fighting for the little guy.
All right. That's valiant. I agree. Before we go and move on to part 2, Joe, how can people get in contact with you to find out some more information on certain issues that they might have or concerns?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, one of my downfalls is I'm not a computer geek. I rather have one-on-one talk. If you want to get a hold of me to talk to me, I'll give you my cell number, 780-679-4899. It's a Camrose number, but we do 90% of our work in Camrose. Or you can call me, like I said, on my cell. You can phone our Wetaskiwin website, Joe Branco at wetaskiwin.ca. But I prefer to talk one-on-one. Let's keep the bullshit together and,
Sure.
Tell the truth. I like to be one-on-one. That way we know what it is. If I make a mistake, I'm human.
You mentioned that you're technologically challenged, and for this meeting to take place, Leah, who also does a lot of stuff for the R&R News, had to bring some equipment over to get Joe set up. So thank you, Leah, for all the work you do, and not the volunteer. Well, it's all volunteer for us, but thank you for everything you do for R&R News and to make the community a better place and all the videos that you post, Leah. So thanks, Leah. And Joe, what we're going to do now is we're going to...
Well, Scott, I like to say that with me continue on in politics, I have to learn. It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. But I would just like to thank you for all your dedication you do to our community. This is something you love doing it, and I'm going, wow, this tech stuff, well, I don't know, but I have to get on with the times, and I know I have to improve myself on this. So.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. Well, let's wave bye to Wetaskiwin and we'll see them on part 2. Part 2 will be put up on October 6th at 9:00, which is when the Chamber Forum ends. So you'll be able to find Joe's part 2 then. Bye, Wetaskiwin. See you then.
Bye.